Can you see? I don't know, probably out of frame here. So I'll kneel. Took on a project I didn't know I'd be starting right this week. My ceiling. If you look up at the top of the screen, you can probably see where I've put some strapping in and some sheathing. I hadn't given a lot of thought to my ceiling. I kind of knew what I wanted for colors or some wood I wanted to use and materials. May not end up even using them. Somebody's convinced me that, you know, maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. But I had to give some thought to my ceiling, and I had to do a layout. So one of the things that was important, I think, to understand is when you go from one material to another, which I am doing here, it's nice to, you know, to have a smooth transition so that they should be the same height, right? They should be one smooth to the other. Well, that dictated strapping on this end of the vehicle over my living room, so that because I can putting just a 1/4 inch material in this area going east to west up to my kitchen. Then my kitchen gets a different material, which actually just mounts right up to the insulation up there, because that's just, it's thicker. You'll see it's light, but it's thicker. It's pretty cool. So those two surfaces will flow. Utilizing the different types of materials and different colors will actually separate one space from another. And what I'll tell you, I was going to originally do a center strip down through here and just use that mounting my lights and stuff in it. And it just, I think somebody pointed out, thank you Melinda, she pointed out that it would just draw your eye to the depth of the vehicle. And then if you do this, which was her suggestion, what I'm doing now, then you actually create space, you know, specific space. So this is a living bedroom space. You won't really see this ceiling when the bed's up. It covers up most of it because it's an elevating bed. But this space will be defined by that. Who knows, maybe I'll put the same ceiling material underneath my bed, so when it's up, you still see it. That's an interesting idea. Hadn't thought of that until just now. It's fairly light. I could probably do it. That'd be kind of cool. Put the sheathing up because that's where all my cabinets go. And so when I open a cabinet, I don't want to see shiny silver material. I want to see white. So I had to put some wood in there. I'm going to paint it white. I want a bright white inside the cabinet. It's going to be putting lights in there. So these, this whole thing tying in with the strapping, lowering it down so it all flowed, gave me a place to mount my lights, which is awesome. It's another place to run some wiring that I wasn't planning on running in there. I was going to run it differently. Now I don't have to. That's cool. So I get to do that. And then of course I started sheathing the front wall. Ran out. That was actually scrap material. So I'm going to go buy another sheet, return a couple of sheets I decided not to use. But there you go. It's the end of the day. I'm a little tired. I'm going to go spend a lot of time tomorrow picking out materials, thinking about colors, paints. I'm going to buy some white paint, some other paint, I'm going to do some painting in here so that I'm not painting around all of the boxes and cabinets that I build. I'm going to just paint first and then put them up. And that'll be done. So we're getting there. Another step. Thanks for joining me. I hope that's helpful. Hope you guys are enjoying this with me. I'm getting a little tired. I've been going at it for a while. Long days. I'm not used to it. Oh well, it's fun. So another busy day. I was working on the van all day and I got the front wall done. Would you like to see it? So what you're looking at up there, let's see if I can get you centered, is I just, you know, put some 1/4 inch stuff to sheathe that out, because on the right side that all gets covered with monkey fur or trunk mat liner, right? The white corners were just polywall. It's flexible, but there's 3 or 4 pieces I had to cut to fit that in up there. I had to figure a way to how to hold that up at the very top. Again, that all just gets covered with monkey fur, so that was just for a backer, and I needed something to make a smooth transition. I wasn't going to do it in all in wood. It's too much work. But scribing those corners took a little while. All 4 corners, you know, there's 2 pieces going into each corner. They all had to be scribed. So I got the paint in. I didn't paint all of it, obviously, because I'm not going to paint what you're never going to see. And though I even did miss a spot or 2. There you go, I missed that right there. I don't know why I forgot to go back and paint that. I actually did extra to clean up the brush. I forgot about that spot. But it's really okay because it needs a second coat anyways. And I'm going to paint those doors. Which is why I haven't put the trim on everywhere yet. I'm going to paint those doors to match the inside. This paint on the, well, you probably can't see because it can't focus here. There you go. The paint on the inside right now is just white. I might go with a gray, but I couldn't decide. So short term, just get it done. Put some white paint on it. Got a lot of paint on my wires. You'll never see those either. Actually, I'll end up probably painting them white anyway, so when they're in the cupboard, you don't see those either. And then I think I'm going to paint this edge here as well, just to settle that issue. But my least favorite thing to do, painting, and I did it. Gonna call it a night. Cheers. All right, it's near the end of the week. Hopefully I'll have this video out pretty soon. Released another one just the other night. To catch me up, you can go look at that. I just did all the a little bit of short video on the boxes, the toolboxes I put in. So I've been busy. I just got done cleaning up and working this morning for a couple hours, and this is what I did. Yeah, that's the second coat. Pretty happy with that. This paint's awesome. And it was a great deal. So I love it. It was the perfect stuff. It's paint for cabinets, and so it levels out after you put it on, so you don't see the brush marks or the roller marks, which I hate. I hate those with a pet peeve. Now I know how to get rid of those, but I'm learning how to paint because I just, watched some videos. So I'm pretty happy. Got my first wall in, if you didn't notice too. So that's the right side of my refrigerator cabinet. There's a 5 or 6 inch base piece, and then there's another 5 or 6 inch cabinet overhead as well, where a lot of my electrical stuff goes, my fuses. That's all going to pull right out. It's going to be a drawer, all extra wiring, so I can pull it out and work on it in the middle, and not have to work on it inside a cramped, tight area if I need to work on it. Trying to think ahead. I've got to maintain this and make it easy to work on for myself. So I'm not going to struggle. I'm not going to disassemble things to work on it. That wall needs a second coat, but it will finish really nice because that actually was birch. Really smooth. This stuff on the side shows a little texture to it. You probably not see it in the video, but it does show a little texture, and that's because it had a grain, right? It was a Luan, and I sanded it and puttied it, when I filled it where I could, but it still got a little grain to it, and that's okay. Third coat, fourth coat probably goes away slowly over time. I'll sand and do another one. I suspect I'll do another coat because I'll probably ding the walls up and make a mess during the rest of the construction. But after I'm all moved in, a finished touch will be that step, one more coat of paint. I think I figured out my ceiling that I want to do above my bed. It's a big project. It's going to take a little while. It's going to take like 4 or 5 hours to do probably. Yeah, you'll see. It's pretty cool. Who knows? Maybe it'll get nixed by my designer. my consultant that convinced me to paint my walls and paint that wall because it's part of this space. I really hurt to paint that beautiful piece of birch. It looked nice, but I did, and I just stuck with that because that's the same cabinetry I'm going to use everywhere throughout. So it's all right. Same plywood anyways for my cabinets. Nice smooth finish. It was worth it. All right, on to the next step. I got to let this dry. Debating whether to paint the doors still or not. Haven't decided on that. That may not happen until much, much later. It's not urgent to be done right now. So I'm going to let this dry before I start making a mess and ruin it. I'll check in with you a little later. Come back. Oh, and if you like any of this, if it's useful, helpful, the subscribe, it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Doesn't hurt you in any way. YouTube's all free. Go for it. Enjoy it. If you subscribe, you'll get notifications of every time I put a video out. It'll pop up every time you open YouTube. You'll see it on top of the list. And you'll get to see that really, as this thing progresses, all the cool things that I'm doing. I did add a center latch on my door, which you can't probably see over there. So now I can latch the bottom and the top, put that in. Pretty happy with that. And a whole bunch of stuff has been coming in the mail. And I ordered a bunch more last night again. This is not an inexpensive build to do it. The level that I'm trying to do it at and all the cool things I'm trying to put into one van. Again, I just don't want to redo stuff. I don't want to upgrade. I'm done. When I'm done, I'm done. and I'm going to enjoy that. I'm not going to change anything, so I'm doing it all now. I swear to God, I'm not going to change anything. All right, that's going to come back to haunt me, right? Those of you that have done this said the same thing probably, but I'm putting it out there. What the heck? Please, hold me to it. I don't want to change anything. But there you go. A whole bunch of stuff has come in. Oh, my water tanks are in. You want to take a quick look at that? Kind of see what I'm doing up here. I'll show you my water tanks. Well, you saw that I put a toolbox in. I don't know if I showed you the hatch for that. So let me go down there and show you that. Ready? It's right here. It's already open. This side, I got to put a handle on this. Hold on a second. Hold on. There we go. A little sticky still. So this is the box that I put in. You can see I've got two tanks, a 7 and a 10 gallon. I'm not sure which way I'm going to put them. I've tried them both ways, but they fit in. One's my gray water, that's this one, and then the 7 gallon is my recirculating shower tank. And so I've got a little space obviously underneath or above that tank, depending if I swap them around, to store extra filters in here. And then this is where all my filters go for my recirculating shower, along with a lot of the plumbing, including the heater, so that this space will be heated just from that, from heating water. So the heat exchanger that'll come in here. And again, the shower is just right here above all this. So I think that's going to make fairly easy plumbing. Yes, I am a little worried about the shower drain. I'm not sure where it's going to go at this point. You know, you'd think normally you'd put it in the center and you want it to drain, you know, down into that 7 gallon tank. But we'll make it fit. The base may need to be elevated a little bit to do that, obviously. But we're good. This one's all in, all bolted up, covered back up. Pretty happy. Check back. This is becoming fun now. We're getting to the good stuff. If you've watched any of these other videos, the good stuff's just beginning. All right, we'll talk to you soon. Probably like later today. It's another day. Actually, it's like 2 days later. Got busy with real estate yesterday, but it was an awesome day with some really good friends, looking at a really cool house. So thanks, Jerry and Lori. That was fun. It's good to spend the day with you guys. All right, I've gotten a bit done, and I'm going to shift things up a bit for you. So for the most part, my videos have been, here's what I'm doing, here's what I've done, because I've had to kind of get going on this project. It just was taking so long for me to tape how I did this step by step. It's slower, it's cumbersome, it costs time. And I needed to get to this point, and I'm feeling pretty comfortable now. I'm going to shift things up for you. And I'm going to start showing you step by step what I'm doing. I will catch you up. I have put in 3 partitions. These are cabinet sides. It was pretty straightforward. I didn't have to scribe them so much to the ceiling as I thought. I just took a measurement there and a measurement here, because I have a ceiling coming up to those. And so straight line cut. Cut a little 45 in the back corner so I can trace wires through. Yes, I'm hiding all these wires. There'll be a chamfer, a piece here, crown molding at 45-degree angle. Probably just make that out of scrap. I've been really, there you go. I've been really good at salvaging a lot of my scrap and stuff. So there's a few tricks to doing all this I'm going to show you as I go today. I have done, like I said, I've done 3 pieces. This is my big cabinet area here. That's my refrigerator. Nice finished side on the inside, so when I open it up, it'll look good inside. I don't know if these are staying, how that'll change my look. Probably hide a lot of those. But I've got cabinets, drawers, and cubby holes and all that stuff going into there. And I bought my front piece for that, and that's going to be tricky. I actually am going to go with a 3/4 inch piece of plywood on the front of this for my face, and I'm going to cut everything out in one piece, so that my face frame, instead of being made up of 1x4s or 1x3s or whatever I was going to do, is just going to be one big full sheet of plywood with all the pieces cut out and then drawers going in and whatnot. So I went to 3/4 inch for that, and this will be fun. What I've got to point out, I think this might be the next thing I start working on. You'll maybe get to see that today. Pretty straight across here, right here, It's hard to probably see, but it starts to dip down because the front of this box starts to dip. And so I have to take, there you go, somebody's calling me or texting me. So that's starting to dip down here now, and I have to take that into consideration as I scribe that up to here, that piece. And I think I need to trim this back a little bit. These ceiling pieces are about a 1/4 inch out. Little screw up there. I wanted this one out, and I ended up just carrying the rest of the rundown. I wanted it out to here for a reason. So now I'm going to push that all back a little bit. I'm not sure. So you're going to see me play with that. I have gone down here and pulled out my right hatch and my left hatch, got my water tanks in there, and you'll see I've cut out a centerpiece. There's a wall that goes over that, and I'm going to build one of those walls here today as well to start that cabinet, which is the side of the cabinet. That's going to be a 1/2 inch piece, by the way, and then this is the shower box. So that's what I'm going to do today. I have my trusty tripod here. I'm going to mount you on a tripod somewhere in here, and you can watch me what I do. All right, I hope that's a good angle. You can see some of what I'm doing here. I want to work on this. What I do know is I got this perfect from one end to the other, 46 inches inside, all the way down, nice and squared off of the floor, and that works. Now, coming out off the wall, this piece is 21.5. This is bigger because obviously the fridge is deeper, but this cabinet's sitting back. I like the idea that I've got a little jog here that just breaks up the flooring a little bit. So yeah, this is out 25 inches. So I've got a little reveal difference there. This is obviously coming out 3/4 of an inch with a sheet on here. So height-wise on this side, I'm going to measure each side and see what I got, because I told you this dips. And if I go to the bottom of the ceiling, that is 75 and just shy of a half, right? 7/16. This, I bet, is taller. Well, I'll be darned. It is just a 1/16 taller, 75.5. So that's pretty good. My dip is not really that much, although I see it. I've probably taken some of it out with this material and how I've sandwiched things there a little bit. My phone, it just never stops. I should probably put it on mute. Yeah, that's really 3/8. So I'm about an 1/8 inch difference between the two. Holy cow, stop emailing me, people. No, I really don't mind. I'll get to you in a minute. Like I said, I've scribed a line through here to straighten this out. I just missed this. I don't know why. So I'm going to figure that out. I'm going to cut that now and actually pull these two panels down. They come out pretty easy, 4 screws. And lo and behold, getting better at this. Actually, these screws can come all the way out because I'm going to cut right there. Might as well put them back in. All right. You'll see here I notched for some wires. I pulled this out earlier and trimmed that end. I should have just done this at the same time, but it's all right. That's it, 4 screws. I didn't have to go crazy with that, right? Why? So let's pull that out. Oh, I didn't pull that screw out far enough. So close. Paint was holding it, wasn't the screw. All right, I've scribed these. You missed that, but I've got a scribe line by I just used my level for straight edge. So I'm going to cut that, pull those out, come back, put them up. Well, before I do that, I'm going to cut that right there. Well, what the heck? Maybe I'll just do it now. Now here's the fun part. This is where, when you don't know what you're doing, you got to slow down. I have a tendency to not want to slow down. And I want to double think about this, think this through. I'm mounting my 3/4 inch to the face of that, so I do want to cut from there so that I really don't have to. If I run my face up to the bottom of this, I really don't have to. If I want to run my face up to the ceiling up here, but it depends on what I put up for a ceiling. In fact, I maybe should have run this out 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to rethink this. how far? It's 21 3/4. So this back wall, when I put this piece up, I had a big gap because this wall actually arcs a little bit, and I trimmed off a little bit up here, scribed that upper corner to slide this piece back. And so that's why I'm not exactly where I should be. This, believe it or not, still runs square. So you probably can't see me down here on the floor because I didn't tilt the camera. But I am square to my floor, which is really important to stay that way. So scribing that line, what that meant was that squared this, kept this square. Previously it was pushing it out, which means, and I know because when I put it down, I have a good square edge there. I use the factory edge on the floor in the front here. And so I know when I put it in that that bottom edge is flat on the floor, and I've been squaring off of that. So that should keep this straight. Yay! So, good. Which is maybe why I ended up back a little bit, because I scribed that, I guess, and not realizing that wasn't square all the way up here. All right. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run my plywood up to my strapping up here, and so that my ceiling comes down below that. And so I will cut this out. So let's get a tool. These came out a long time ago. Oh, I need a new blade maybe. It's getting burnt. These offsetting tools. Oh my God, love this thing. Really wish I'd bought one a long time ago. I've done a lot of projects without this that I wish I now look back and go, oh, that would have been so sweet. So this is going to get noisy. Apologize. Maybe I'll put some nice music in for you. So let's see if I safety. 'Cause I'm going at an angle, so I'm going to fix it. Now my face frame is going to run past this a little bit, and so I want to notch a little bit further than that. And I'm just really eyeballing that. I'm caught somewhere still. That's it. Love that thing. All right, so that'll allow my frame to come up here. I'm gonna go cut those other two pieces. All right. Okay, I'm back. So I cut these. Actually, it is kind of interesting. I used a straight edge, a Craig Accurate Cut tool, long bar. Put my saw on it. It's pretty nice. Gotta like that. So I know this is my cut edge because there's no screws in it, and I'll just put this back in. But I'm hand landing right where I want. So now these are a really tight fit. Somewhere in this pocket I have two more screws. All right. This one's a tight fit. I cut this out just using the skill saw, so I got a nice little actually smooth arc to this. Not too worried about the wires rubbing on this edge, because everything is kind of pinched in there pretty good. But I may come back with a little protective piece for that. But I got to get stuff done. I've got to skip a few steps here and there. So this is a really snug fit. So this is going to take persuasion. All right. So that's it. 2 screws and we're done. And now we can double check and put in our face frame up here. Now I'm looking at this and thinking about how I'm going to put it together. I gotta admit, I don't think I gave that a lot of thought when I put these braces in. I would need to support this side, and I could support this corner if I just moved that forward, which kind of sucks because I've got 5 screws into that now. Or I can leave that back and run a piece across the front. I'm not sure. I'm kind of building this cabinet in place. This is my line. And what's the purpose for this line? Behind this line, I need to mount a cleat for that to mount to. That's all. And I got to think about how I want to do that. So I think that works. I'm going to run a cleat up both sides. This cleat runs flush to this front piece. That's no big deal. So I might as well go floor to ceiling with a cleat because I have it. They're cheap. Basically, that's $74.50. There might be some advantages to doing that. Here's what that's going to be, I'm thinking. Quick run to the shed and a whole bunch of screws. I'm not left-handed, but I swear to God I'm getting better at this. Let's see how this goes. I want nice and flush right here. And I'm not going all the way to the end. Oh, that came out beautiful. Just what I wanted. Ooh, about halfway. I don't know. Now on this plywood, this side's the B side. That's the nice side. And that's okay. You're probably not going to see either. And I don't need to go crazy with screws on this. I don't think, right? And I'm not going to go crazy now because maybe I have to take it apart. So it curves. It curves a lot. I want my straight line on the front. That's it right there. That should do it. Now this one I'm going to also eyeball. But I've got my line. Hey, I think I'm a little to the left, but I still hit the wood. I'm going to go to the other side and mark that. Right? Smart thing to do. And then I won't miss that. I'm having a hard time with this one. See? Eyeball that, make sure it's straight. Ideally, you just do that. Huh. Maybe I'm just glad I checked. Because that doesn't quite look straight. So it's great. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to pull this snug, square this, and that actually pushes that over. It looked good. It was not. But now I'm pretty confident it is. All right, I'm gonna go out. I'll take you with me. I'm gonna cut this piece. Remember I said 76, right? Here's the thing. I'm over 50. When you turn 50, your warranty goes off. You're out, you break. You get a little bit older, get into your 50s, and your memory starts to go. I don't even remember what I measured back here. 76, 76 and a quarter, right? So here's what I'm learning. 3/4 inch sheet of plywood costs a lot of money. It takes very little time to come out here and measure this. Double checking, 76 and a quarter. Again, going right up to that so that that has this to support the top. Let's go cut that.